So getting as comfortable as possible. Just beginning to notice the breath wherever you're at. Just noticing the breath. Everybody needs to get a little zen in here this morning, guys. And just begin to notice it moving into the body, and just notice the quality of your breath this morning. Notice it moving into the belly. Moving into the chest. And just exhaling again through the nose. See if you can lengthen the breath. See if you can bring that breath in through the nose. Pull it into the belly. Bring it up into the chest. And exhale, let it go. Just see if you can lengthen the breath. Lengthen the inhalation, but see if you can lengthen the exhalation just a little bit more. And then this next time, as we breathe in, nice full breath into the belly and into the chest. And just open up the lips and let the breath make its way out through the mouth. A couple times, just like this. Breath in through the nose. So this breath is something that you can come back to at any point through the day. It doesn't have to be just in our practice. It can be whenever you need it, whenever you find the mind beginning to wander, whenever things feel a little chaotic, a little uncertain. You find assumptions floating through the mind. Just remember to breathe. Then go ahead and begin to send that breath into the fingertips. And send it into the toes, into the wrists, and begin to move the wrists around. Spread the fingers out. When you're ready, if you aren't already on the back body, come onto the back body and just take a nice full body stretch. Nice. Woo. Big full body stretch, just lengthen through the body. Gonna move the hips a little bit. Just flex one foot at a time. And then just let the elbows gently bend and let the backs of the hands come onto the earth. Just pause here and just take 3 breaths. Then go ahead and interlace the fingers, flip the hands up towards the sky. Just take a couple of minutes and kind of side to side with the hands. A couple breaths, I should say. Just get a little stretch into the wrists and then roll the wrists back out again. And then just go ahead and bring the hands down by the sides of the body and bend the knees and place the soles of the feet on the earth. And then just a nice little sway, a little gentle back and forth sway. with the knees. Just windshield wiper them out. Windshield wiper them out. And pull the knees back up in towards the chest. Oh, a little rock back and forth. We'll try to lengthen through the neck here. So maybe give a little tuck with the chin towards the chest even. And then place the head back down. Just let it be nice and relaxing. And then go ahead, open up the arms out to a T. You can let the knees fall over towards the right. Just take a twist here. Take a nice twist here. The gaze can stay to the sky, or maybe you want it to come out to the left. And if it really feels good, maybe, just maybe extend that left leg out. Just get a nice additional stretch right there through the IT band area. And then just bring the leg in, bring the gaze back up to the sky, and bring the knees back up through center. And if it feels a little too much of a stretch, you can always use one of your pillows or bolsters, anything like that. But little rock back and forth, just straighten through the spine, and then let the knees fall over towards the left. Let that right shoulder be nice and heavy. Just take a moment and kind of sink in right here and just see how the body's feeling. And if it feels good, extend through that right leg. Just let the right leg come out. Stretch through that IT band a little additionally. Gaze can stay to the sky, or maybe it comes out towards the right. Just breathe. Just notice the breath coming into the belly. Notice the breath coming into the belly. As you exhale, just let everything go. Just let it all go. And rebend that knee and just bring the knees back up through center. And one more time, just rock back and forth on that low back. Rock it back and forth. Lift the feet up. Just pedal your feet back and forth just gently. Maybe roll them out a little bit. Drop the feet down. You can grasp onto the toes. You can grasp onto the backs of the legs. Wherever you would like to. Just come into your happy baby pose. Let the shoulders be nice and heavy. And then bring the feet together. And then just gently bring the feet down onto the earth, and let's come into our reclined bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana. Just let the soles of the feet come together for a moment. You can bring the palms onto the belly. Just check in with yourself. This very spiritual pose. And if this doesn't feel good, you can always walk the feet apart and just let the knees come in together. You can do that as an option as well, but just let's pause here for 3 breaths. And deepen that breath. And then begin to walk the feet apart. Walk the feet apart. Pull the knees in towards the chest. Little rock back and forth. You can thread the hands underneath the knees and then begin to rock if that feels good. Kind of pull yourself up to a seated position. Or you can roll over to the side body if that rock and roll just doesn't feel quite right. One quick second here. There we go. Just have locked into place here. Perfect. All right, so find a comfortable seated position, and maybe you want to have a blanket or a bolster handy, or pillow, whatever you'd like to, but kind of nice to sit up on something in these seated positions. Allows for the knees to come a little bit closer to the earth. So we're lifting the body up. We're letting the knees gently melt down and just connecting with the earth's energy that way. A little bit more comfortable to find that meditation pose. So just pause here in your seat and envision the crown of the head lifting up. Kind of like there was a string attached to the crown of the head. Just envision it lifting, envision the shoulders just melting. And let's breathe right here. So take a nice big breath in through the nose. Envision that belly getting nice and big. Let it go. One more breath just in your seat. Let it go. So let's go ahead and focus on the neck and kind of get into where that tension lies. So a lot of times what I have discovered, especially if for me, my tension resides on the left-hand side, I should say, the neck and occipital nerve when it comes up and around. And sometimes it can have to do with just being on that phone and just having our neck like this. Sometimes it has to do with driving, and then definitely sleeping, and I think tension and craziness on top of it. For me, at least, that's what kind of brings it all together. So just a couple of things to be mindful with. But let's go ahead and find some nice stretches to get into that spot. So let's go ahead and start with just isolating on the right-hand side. So right in that little area is where it really always gets me and comes and travels on up. So let's start with just dropping the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And then just pause right here. Just begin to let that right shoulder get nice and heavy. Nice and heavy. And then see if we can push the right shoulder back just a little bit. So one trick that you can do to do this throughout the day, if you're sitting on a chair, this exact pose is great, but take the hand and grasp onto the bottom of the chair. So I'm going to grab onto the bottom of my bolster here. And again, just envision pushing that shoulder back. Should really get a nice big stretch here. Really nice big stretch. Shoulder pushes back. And then let's go ahead and just kind of release that a little bit and take a couple of nods. A couple of nice big nods here. And then go ahead and bring that chin all the way forward, and let's go over to the other side here. So just drop down with that right ear over towards the right shoulder. Let the left shoulder get nice and heavy. Same thing, you can reach down if you have a bolster or even just kind of on your seat. Bring that hand down. Really feel a nice stretch coming right through here. And then gently push back with the shoulder. Gently push back with that left shoulder. Should get a nice big stretch. Again, this feels so good to do on a chair, so I highly recommend it. It's a big stretch, so go gently, but definitely something to try if you've got some issues in this area. And then let's go ahead and just start doing some little half moons here. So just release that stretch on that left-hand side and go ahead, some little half moons. And then just let the chin drop all the way down towards the chest. So rather than hunching over though, and roll the shoulders back so we're still sitting up nice and tall, but just dropping that chin down towards the chest. Let the gaze come down almost towards the feet. Just really feel that nice length coming through the back body here. And then lift the chin up and just gaze towards the sky. Gaze towards the sky. Maybe a couple more half moons. Maybe bring it all the way around. Hello. Hello. Do you want to sit and do yoga with everybody? Okay, sit right here. You can do yoga. Your pants match the yoga thing. That. Okay, so you can go ahead and roll the chin. Yeah, we have to be quiet in yoga, okay? So shh, quiet voice, but you can move your chin. Some nice head circles. And then let's go ahead, just lift up through the heart, lift up through the chest, and take a forward fold. Take a forward fold as best as you can. Go ahead and you can bring the elbows down onto the earth if that feels okay. Just begin to get a little bit of a little hip stretch right there. Perfect. Very nice. And then go ahead and just walk it back up. Walk it back up. And let's change the cross of our legs. Let's change the cross of the legs. So bring the opposite leg out in front. And then let's start playing with the shoulders a little bit here. So just kind of roll the shoulders up and back. Start moving with the shoulders. Roll them up and back. And move the shoulders forward. Nice and forward. And let's open up the arms kind of out to a T. No, okay, Daddy can do yoga too, baby. We can all do yoga. Open up the arms out to a T. And let's go ahead. Let's take the right hand and cross it up over on top of the left. So we're going to open up through those shoulder blades and then just nice circles. Just right here. Nice circles right here. Feel those shoulder blades nice and open. And then open the arms up and let's change the cross. Let's go ahead and change the cross. So opposite arm's gonna come on top. And same thing. Let's go ahead and make some nice big circles. And just release the cross of them. Open up the arms. And then just drop the hands down and a couple big circles again. Couple big circles again. Quiet voice if we want to stay with Yoga Poppy. And then go ahead, take a forward fold on this side. So the cross of the legs is different. Cross of the legs is different. Let the head go. Go ahead and lift up. Sorry, it's a little louder environment this morning than normal, friends. Okay, so let's release the cross of the legs now. Just kind of shake them out a little bit. Bring the legs forward. Let's lift through the belly, lift through the heart. You can stay seated on a bolster or whatever you're on if you're there. And then just take a forward fold right here. Go ahead and take a nice forward fold right here. Let the head go. Let it go. Just a very gentle forward fold. And then roll it back up. Let's come onto the knees and onto the hands. Make our way into table pose. You can move any bolster or anything that you might have underneath you. And then just begin to kind of move through your table. Just lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze, breathing in. And exhale, round. Just a few times at your own pace. Just lift, breathe it in. And exhale, round. Few times. Breathe it in. One more time. Nice big breath in. And then exhale, round. And as you round, just kind of tuck that chin. Let the head completely go really nice and round through the back body. Feel that stretch. And then sink your way all the way into child's pose. Sink all the way down, let the head go. Just breathe. Nice big breaths. So in this child's pose, let's go ahead and just let the forehead come down onto the earth, and then take the arms and reach them back behind us and let the tops of the hands come onto the earth. And just let the shoulders open up. Let those shoulder blades open up. Just release any tension there. So just a nice little ball. And just breathe. See if we can bring the breath in. If it's a little tight, open up the legs. Couple breaths. Send it into the back body. And then just gently bring the hands forward. Bring the hands forward. Let's go ahead and make our way back up into table. So back in table, let's reach up with the right arm. So reach up with the right arm. Just let the gaze follow the right arm for a moment. And then go ahead, thread that right arm underneath the left. Thread it underneath. Just lay that right shoulder down. Walk the left hand forward. Get a nice big stretch through the back body here. And if it feels even more exciting, totally optional, maybe step out with that left leg. So you can almost leverage it just a little bit and really open up through the shoulder blade there. Nice big stretch. And the gaze can come up towards the sky. And then just gently begin to roll back. So pull that knee in if you have the leg extended. Slowly slide that left palm back underneath you. Push into the earth. Unwind, roll up, lift, and bring the hand back down. And then just a couple cat-cows. Just in our place of center. Go ahead with a neutral spine. Let's lift that left hand up, lift it up, and thread it under. Thread it under. Take your time. Really find a nice stretch here through that shoulder blade. So we pull that shoulder blade open, and then walk the right hand forward. Kind of push those gecko fingers into the earth with the right hand. And if you'd like to, oh shoot, the coffee in yoga, I'm not sure why I keep bringing it, because it's never turning out to be a good thing. That's got to be the 10th spill probably. And then you can just step out with that right foot. So step out with the right foot. Maybe gaze up towards the sky. Gaze up towards the sky. And then go ahead and bring the knee back in. And slowly unwind. Push that right palm into the earth. Lift the left palm up. Just unwind it all. Come back into your table. Couple cat-cows. Breathe. And then you can stay right in table if you'd like to, or open up the palms. So the way I like to come into cat-cow, the way a teacher explained it to me one time, was almost envision that you're looking at two L's. So like kind of a L on the left hand, a tilted L, I should say. So the hands are kind of like this. So rather than the middle finger being straight up, we have the hands almost tilted just a little bit outward. So kind of two L's pivoted, if that makes sense. So push into the fingertips though. Push into the fingertips, push into the entire palm, not just the wrists. And then begin to make your way up. So kind of, I always like to begin kind of in a squat position, pushing the chest back towards the thighs, and then begin to make your way up all the way up into downward facing dog. Just let the heels get nice and heavy. Doesn't matter if the heels are not touching the earth. That's completely fine. Just feel what feels good for you. and walk your dog out. Shake the head out. Shake any of that tension out. So this should feel really nice. Zero gravity on the neck. Let it all out. Maybe wiggle the hips back and forth. Just do what feels good in this downward facing dog for you this morning. And then go ahead and just bring the knees down to the earth. Untuck the toes. Once again, just sink back into that child's pose. Sink it back and take one big full breath here in child's pose. Exhale, let it go. I'm going to walk the hands forward so the hips begin to lift up. Transitioning into our puppy dog pose. Let the chest come down. Just breathe. Just breathe. And then with the elbows on the earth, so keep the elbows right here on the earth. Totally optional, but give it a try. See how it feels. Open up the palms nice and wide. Tuck the toes and make your way up into dolphin pose. So just walk the feet forward a little bit. Get an additional stretch through those calves. Maybe shake your hips just a tiny bit here in dolphin. Nice stretch through the calves. Take a full breath in here. Really feel nice and open through the shoulder blades. And then bring the knees down to the earth once again and just kind of begin to walk back with the knees and let the hips come all the way down onto the earth. And transition from your dolphin just right here into Sphinx pose. So roll the shoulders up and back. So just begin kind of lift the gaze up actually in this Sphinx pose. So normally we want to just lengthen through the back of the neck, but just go ahead and take a nice little lift and just kind of almost shrug one shoulder at a time. So you can almost kind of massage that tension. Kind of roll the shoulder back with the neck. Feels pretty good. And then pause. Go ahead and take a pause and lengthen through the back of the neck. Just gaze down right towards those thumbs. And then take the gaze all the way out over towards the right. So gaze out towards the right. Roll the neck all the way down towards the chest. Over towards the left. Almost our little half moons here, but just really take your time. Focus on getting that chin down towards the chest as we do this. Should feel a nice stretch through the neck. Maybe all the way around. And then go ahead and just melt yourself down. We did this last week, but serpent pose is just also another great thing for the neck and shoulders. So bring the fingers out, face forward for us. So fingers out, gecko fingers into the earth here. Just a nice little lift and just one at a time. Just dip those shoulders. One at a time. Nice dip with the shoulders. And then just melt it back down. Bring the palms underneath the shoulders, just back behind the shoulders a little bit. Pull the elbows in. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Nice little lift here into your baby cobra. Nice little lift. And bring it on down. And then just reach the hands all the way forward. Reach the hands all the way forward. Kind of a nice little stretch here. Nice little stretch. See if we can lift the feet up off of the earth. See if we can just lift the feet up off the earth. And then maybe lift the hands up off the earth. And just do a little swim action here. Just a little bit of core work in our gentle. Nothing too crazy. But a little bit of a swim. And then bring the feet down. Bring the head back down. Pull the hands back underneath the shoulders. Let's transition back through table. back through our table and sink back down into our child's pose once again. And just take 3 breaths in child's pose. 3 nice big breaths. You can bring the hands behind you if that felt more comfortable, or you can leave them forward, whichever you prefer. And then go ahead, just make your way back up into table. Back up into table. Just a little cat-cow action. Go ahead, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Just lift up with that right leg. Lift it up towards the sky and step it through between the palms. Bring that right leg forward. Go ahead, bring the left knee down, maybe flip the mat, bring the left knee down. Just come in to that low lunge. Lift up with the heart. Just pause right here for a moment. Just bring the palms onto the hips. And then we're gonna interlace the palms behind us this morning and just open up through the shoulders. Maybe let the gaze come up. So if this just does not feel good, you can always keep the palms right up on top of the hips. Just an option. And then go ahead and release the hands. And let's just bring them back down onto the mat. And slowly sink back. Lift up with the right toe. Nice length right here. And then just sink back down. Go ahead and tuck with the left toe. Lift up with the left knee. Lift up with that left knee. Just step forward just a little bit. And let's just windmill open to warrior 2. Go ahead, sink down. Nice, open into our warrior 2. Just nice, big open. Begin to straighten through that right knee. Just bring the right palm down on top of the shin and open up into a triangle pose. Maybe let the gaze come up towards that left hand. Just gently shift back into your warrior 2. The gaze come out over those fingers and windmill back down. And just step back into downward facing dog. You can always step back into table if you'd rather. And let's go ahead, left side. Lift up with that left foot. Lift up with the left foot. Step through between the palms. Step through between the palms. And windmill open. Oops. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. So let's actually come back down. Flip the mat. Go ahead and bring that right knee down. So we're gonna sink back down into that left knee. We'll get to that warrior 2. I was just really excited about it this morning. Square the hips. Go ahead and find a nice lift. Bring the palms onto that left thigh. Or interlace the fingers. See if you can kind of interlace them the opposite way from how they were before. Pull those shoulder blades together. Open up through the heart. Nice big open here. And then release the hands down. Sink back. Lift through those left toes. Lift it up. Nice length here. Exhale. And then let's go ahead, sink back into the left foot. Tuck through the right toe, lift up with that right knee. Step forward just a little bit so that the foot comes into a 45-degree angle. And then windmill open into that warrior 2. You can always open up your stance just a little bit if you'd like to. Sink down, take a full breath here. Begin to straighten through that left knee. Bring the left hand down onto that left shin. Open up. Gaze up towards that right palm. Just gently make your way back into warrior two and windmill on down. Windmill right back down. Step back into your down dog. Back into your table. Back into your table. And we're going to go ahead and just sit all the way up and just transition back onto the back body this morning. So all the way back onto the back body. And then cross the right foot over the top of the left thigh. Flex through that right foot, reach through, grasp onto the back of the left thigh, get a nice hip opener. And then bring the foot down. Let's change sides. So bring the left foot over the top of the right thigh, reach on through, grasp on, take a nice hip opener on this side. And then bring that right foot down, just uncross the left. Maybe windshield wiper it out a little bit. See what feels good. If you'd like to, you can come back into that Queen's pose or Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. Or just see what feels good for you. Yogi's choice. Just try to find a posture that the body might be calling for. It could be anything. It could be pigeon pose or a shoulder stand or plow pose, anything at all. Just see where the body is asking for, what it's asking for. Just go ahead and treat yourself to that posture. And then when you feel complete, when you feel that you have enjoyed whatever posture the body is asking for, go ahead and make your way into your final pose this morning, your Savasana. And just release. You can get as comfortable as you'd like in your Savasana. Maybe you want to use a bolster or a blanket. And you can bring the legs up against the wall. But just make sure to not skip your Savasana. Take your time. Even if it's just for a couple of minutes, or you can allow yourself to take at least 10 minutes would be wonderful. Open up the arms out to a T. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Just let the eyes soften. Just let yourself completely be. I will leave you here in your Savasana this morning. Just take as much time as you'd like. Enjoy it. I am so grateful for everybody sharing their practice with me this morning. So be well, and I will see everybody next week. Namaste.